Hey, good morning, y'all. I know it's early. I'm out here working overtime. So sorry if I look tired. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is pretty personal for me because I've only had this conversation with one person, and that is my wife. Uh, it's not something I'm uh, pretty open talking about, but I said to myself that if I'm going to do this YouTube thing, that I'm going to be consistent and be honest and, you know, this channel's called Relate with Zay, so uh, I got to do my part and give you guys the content of me opening up and being upfront with my struggles. So, as you guys can see, the title of this video, 30 with no friends. So, back in let's say high school, college, I had a lot of friends or acquaintances, whatever you want to call it. I'm a very open guy. I'm very engaging. I can have a random conversation with a stranger on the street. Um, but when you think about where I am today, right, and and I just say to myself, like what happened? Where'd all these people go? Friends, I realized, as I growed up, is that friendships aren't the amount of people that are around you, but necessarily the the people that actually care about you, that you have genuine connections with, and you know are there for you, and you're there for them. And so, like I said, in high school, like I had a lot of so-called friends, uh, and people who I still care about, and I hope that they're doing fine and they're okay. Um, and it just goes to show that man, people, life happens and people grow apart, and it's okay. Um, I've changed since the person I was in high school. I've changed since the person I was in college. As you get older, you start to mature, and not only that, you start to figure out who you really are. You start to figure out different interests you have, uh, and different beliefs that you might take in, and it's all just part of the process and part of the journey. You just gotta learn to accept it and roll with it and be okay with it, and just accept you for who you are. And part of that journey is sometimes the people who you were once close with, they might move away. They might go off and evolve themselves. They might end up, they might get in a relationship with someone, and they might take on their beliefs, or they might just go on their own different paths, and it's just all a part of life, and that's okay. And you know am I necessarily lonely in 30? No, I wouldn't say I'm lonely. I have my family, and for me, that's all I need. You know what I mean? I'm content with that. Um, but friends, people to hang out with, people to talk to, uh, for me, that's more so family. Um, I have cousins, who I consider friends, to be friends, that I hang out with, when I can, whenever I see them. Um, but outside of a family bloodline, I don't have too many close connection with people to actually go hang out with, go to the movies, or just go to a bar and chill. Um, and in the past I did, but as I said, we get older and we go on different paths. I remember in college, I had a friend, and me and him, we were cool. We were real tight, and I remember we started to kind of grow apart a little bit. And I noticed that I felt I would put in more effort to hang out, uh, than that person reciprocated. And I kind of just I was flat out. I was just like, hey man, like, I value our friendship, and I would like, like, I want us to hang out more. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? Like, we were cool, and like, it's like we don't even talk. And when he responded, it, kind of reciprocated the same feelings. Like, yeah, man, I don't know, like, like, miss you, man. Like, what's up? And so, we'll sit there and talk for a little bit. But it didn't last. You know what I mean? Like, eventually we still just grew and grew and grew apart. And I just kind of accepted it. And it was what it was. There was also a part in my life where, like I said, my cousins are my close friends, and so I would hang out with them, and I would adapt their friends with me. You know what I mean? Like your friends are my friend type stuff. And I used to get in my feelings sometimes because, like, if I had eventually saw him and my cousin, and he would say, "Oh, I just hung out with so and so," and I'm just like, man, like, why didn't I get an invite? That would have been cool. I wasn't doing nothing. And so, I would feel a way about it sometimes, and you kind of just gotta accept sometimes that someone's close friends might just be acquaintances for you, or just might be like people you meet in life that you're cool with. There's no issues whatsoever. If I was to see them today, it would be, what's up? And like, how you been? It's so good to see you. Like, I missed you. How, like, but friends that necessarily are there to check up on you, see how you genuinely are feeling, how you are, like, that genuinely want to spend time with you. I have to accept that they just weren't that for me, and that's okay. At this point in my life, I feel like my boss would probably check up on me just to see what's going on with me, and that's not necessarily because he cares and wants to know that I'm okay. He just wants to make sure that I'm going to show up to work the next day. And that's just a part of life. And like I said, me being 30, I'm not lonely. I have my family, and I'm content with that. And as long as you're content with where you are, that's all that matters. In high school, I was trying to win the yearbook for I think it was like the most friendly person or something like that, and I think I was pretty close. And it's just funny how life works and kind of goes full circle to, or not, honestly, the opposite of full circle, but that's where I was at that point in time, thinking I had all the friends in the world, to essentially 10 years later or so, just kind of, I'm really to myself. And I think that's another reason why I appreciate starting a YouTube channel, because these are conversations that I wouldn't even have with being alone in a room with a fly on the wall. No one would know this. Like I said, the only person I had this conversation with is my wife. And now I'm sharing it with my 50 subscribers, who I genuinely appreciate you guys for being here and listening. And possibly with the world, if they choose to watch and listen. And I'm just here to say that if you're like me, whether you're 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 plus, whatever age you are, and you also don't have close connections with people, it's okay. It's part of the process. I have to, and I have to tell myself that I'm 30 and married. I have 2 children, and with a full 9-to-5 job. People in their 20s, they're out clubbing and stuff like that. So they're not necessarily my demographic, in terms of like having a close connection with, because we don't fully relate. We might relate with we might have similar interests with like TV shows, movies, comedy, or whatever viral moment is going on. We might connect in that type of way, But like being realistic, man, I go to work, I go home, and I am a father at that point, and slash husband. So, someone who's necessarily in their 20s might not relate with that. Or even if someone who's in their 30s and is my age, they might be, single. And obviously, someone who's single compared to someone who's married, there's similar interest. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go to the club regardless. Like, clubbing is just not my thing. It's just me. But you're not gonna catch me out at a club, regardless if I wasn't married, right? And you're not going to catch me out at a bar, like, unless, like, we're hanging out. But like, it's just different paths of life, and you kind of just gotta go with it and accept it and tell yourself it's okay. And you're not alone. You're not going through it alone. There's tons of us out here that I'm assuming feel the same way I do, and it's okay. And you kind of necessarily have to think, someone who's 30 and married like me, they might not necessarily even be looking for friends, or a close connection with anyone else. They might already have their core group of friends that they appreciate, and and they're fine with. So am I necessarily locked to having no friends ever? No. But it's just life. It's just where I'm at. And like I said, it's okay. You're not going through it alone if you are. And that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys can relate. Hit me down in the comments. I'll be there to chat with you. And I hope you guys are having a great day.